it's Sherry at Hecate's Needle. It is April 3rd, 2025, Thursday, and I am back with Flosstube number 46. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of my subscribers. You make my day a little brighter. I also want to say welcome to everyone. Subscribers, people who have just discovered me, people who may not have subscribed but just kind of tune in once in a while. Everyone is welcome. Everyone's welcome. So, we are joined here today by the lovely Artemis, the adorable little Snickers, and the equally adorable little Jelly Bean. We'll see how long the naps last before we have chaos, because these two boys. But anyway, today I have cross stitch. I have just a tiny bit of sewing. Not that I've done any sewing, but I have a tiny bit of sewing. And I have gardening because it is spring in Alabama. And we've been busy in the yard. I have life, but it's basically just what life has consisted of the past 3 months. Unpacking. I'm tired of unpacking. But anyway, let's get started with cross stitch. Cross stitch. I have been busy working on my cross stitch. Now, I've only worked on 3 projects this month, or this past 2 weeks. But there's a reason. Now, I have a whole little bag full of finished projects that I've not fully finished yet. Well, last week, Hobby Lobby had frames 50% off, and Michael's had frames buy one get one free. So I went ahead and picked up some frames and got some things fully finished for a change. Yay! Now the first 2 that I fully finished, I don't have physically with me. They are hanging in my kitchen, but my husband decided to hang them above the door. I'm only 5'3". I can't reach them even with the step ladder, so they're still there. But these 2 are the seed pack towels that I finished last year, the lettuce and the tomato. And I'll insert a picture here. Now these are just simple white frames. I framed them myself, but I like how they turned out. I really do. Now, when I stitched them on a pale yellow fabric because it would have matched the kitchen in my old house. Not so much the new one. But that's okay. They still look good. I like them on that fabric, and I hung them up anyway. But my husband decided to hang them over the doorway, and I'm not sure what in his brain told him that was a good idea, but he did it anyway. I mean, they look fine there. They do. But anyway, I can't reach them, so there are the pictures. The next one I fully finished. I framed it myself, and I may have to stand back. Okay. And it is my beautiful biomes. And there's a glare. This frame I found at Hobby Lobby, and like I said, it was 50% off. So it only cost $20, which isn't bad. I framed it myself. I think the frame looks perfect with it. It has that kind of weathered look. But I love how this one turned out. Now this one was a project by Pixel Pixie. It was a stitch along for last year. And we got the last part in January. And this was one that I actually kept up with and finished on time. So I've got that framed, and my husband's going to hang it in the entryway. If I'm scratching, I promise I don't have fleas. I have a mosquito bite right here. What kind of homicidal, psychotic, sociopathic mosquito bites you on the head? I don't know. But if I'm scratching, I'm trying not to scratch, but I'm sorry. I promise I don't have fleas or anything like that. It's just a mosquito bite from some psycho. And then the last one that I fully finished was my Australian wildflowers. I finally found a frame with 3 openings that was the right size. And this frame was only $10. That's not bad. All 3 of these were a kit that I got from Laura from I Stitch Birds as a gift. I love it. I love it. They were 3 quick, simple little things, and they look very nice. I like them. These we haven't decided yet. We don't know if we want to hang these in the entryway or if we want to hang them in our bed, not our bedroom, but in the it's not really a hall, it's just an entryway into our bedroom. We may hang it there to brighten up that space because there's nothing in that space except a closet door. So we may hang it there, but we haven't decided yet. But those are my fully finished items. And look at the lovely glare. Because videos. And I'm kicking things. Okay. Now, on to progress. I have actually done quite a bit of stitching. Now, I've got my routine back. Now that you know, I have unpacked and organized all of my cross stitch things. That's what that cabinet is there. It's all cross stitch. Now that I've unpacked and organized all of that, I've got my routine back. I'm back to doing my check sheet. As you can see, I didn't finish all of March. I just blacked out January and February because, oh my God, because moving. But all of March, now I only started doing this halfway through March, so I didn't get all of March done, but that's okay. I will just double up until I get them done. And what I've been doing is I am back to doing my spin the wheel. And my spin the wheel is on my tablet. Which it would help if I didn't have it upside down. Because me. But basically, I have my spin the wheel. Now, all of my projects are on it. And as you can see, each project has a stitch count. That's how many stitches I want to get done when I spin the wheel for that month, per month. Let's just say per month, okay? Once I spin the wheel and it lands on a project and I get that stitch count done, I hide that slice so the next time I spin the wheel, I don't get the same one. Now, my big full coverage pieces obviously have higher stitch counts for the month because while I am, yes, a very much stitching for the sake of stitching. I also like the finished project. I like to finish them and obviously display them in my home. That's why I pick the projects I pick, because I want to display them in my home. So I have set stitch count goals for each project in order for me to get them finished. Now, I worked on 3 different projects this month, or I keep saying this month, this past 2 weeks. And I only worked on 3 because one of them had a higher stitch count for the month, and then I spent a day fully finishing and framing things. Let me put this down. Now, the 3 I worked on, the first one was Haunted Hollow. It is in my little Halloween bag, made by me. Haunted Hollow was a stitch along from last year. It was done by State Platinum Stitchery. I knew I wouldn't be able to keep up with it because I did all the stitch alongs last year because I just went brain dead. But I knew I wouldn't be able to keep up with it, but that's okay. Now, my goal for the month, because I'd like to have this done by Halloween this year so that I can display it for Halloween, my goal was 924 stitches. I did more than that, so I'm ahead of the game. Yay. I finished the entire first section. I think it is so cute. And I don't have a board. I need to find it. But now, before I started working on it, I had this ghost and the title done. I finished the other 3 ghosts and the established 1840 down here. I actually put in 1,154 stitches. So, a good 230 more than I needed to. But I finished the entire first section. And that puts it at 25% complete. Now, I am stitching this on a 14 count Aida. It was done by Witch's Garden Crafts, and it is the color Lake Lanier. This was a fabric that I got when I was in the Fabric of the Month Club for her. I canceled that before I moved because I want to use up the fabric I have before I get more. I mean, unless there's something for a specific project, obviously. But this was just one that I had in my stash, and I thought it was perfect. It's a gorgeous fabric. I love stitching on it. And I'm using the called for DMC colors. I didn't change anything. But that's what I got done on that one. And as I said, I actually did an extra 230 stitches, so I'm ahead. Yay! Oh, why did I put that there? I don't know. The second one I worked on, and I'm sorry about this. I need to get a haircut, but I don't know what I want to do with my hair. Basically, my hair does nothing. It's thick, it's heavy, and it is straight as a board. There's nothing else you can say about it. So I haven't decided what I want to do with it. The next one I worked on was my Maine Coon by Riolis. This one was a gift from my husband for Christmas. Not Christmas 23, but Christmas 22. No, not 24, it was Christmas 23. And this was my birthday start that year. He got this because it looks like our old cat Lucy, who we've since lost. I mean, she was old, but adorable. I'm using all the kit materials. So it's 10 count black Ada, and they're what is it? The acrylic wool threads, yarns, whatever. But there it is. This one I will finish this year. My goal for this one each month is 530 stitches. What I worked on this time, I put in 550, so an extra 200 stitches. 200, seriously, 20, math. An extra 20 stitches, and I was just finishing the thread. I don't like to leave threads hanging. But what I was doing with this one was filling in more around the face, okay, and then filling in some more around in the beard, the ruff. So I was doing this darker gray fabric, but coming along nicely. As I said, I put in 550 stitches. That puts it at 75 cents. Words and syllables are hard. That puts it at 75% done. So it will be done this year. The next one, the last one I worked on this month, or yes, this past 2 weeks, was my Mill Hill Moonstruck. I love it. I love it. This is my oldest whip. It's shameful, I know, but all the beads, and I had a full year of kittens. I love to help. Kittens and beads don't work. They don't mix. Things get ugly. But now this one I did not meet my monthly goal on, but I was only 26 stitches short. This one I put in 330. Well, the goal was 330 stitches. I put in 304. And I was filling in more of this burgundy around the moon. And I did some more, quite a bit more of the beading in the tree. I also did the windows in the house, and started working and filling in up here with this burgundy. If I recall, the reason I didn't get the extra 26 stitches done is because we had to go somewhere and I had to put it away. And then, me being me, I forgot to pick it back up. But that's okay. It's only 26 stitches. I'm not worried about it. Next time I'll stitch more. And it all evens out. So that one is currently at 63% done. The Maine Coon is at 75%. And the Haunted Hollow is now 25%. So that's awesome. I also spent a day and kitted up some projects that I would like to start this year. And as I said, every time I have 3 finishes, I am going to reward myself with a new start. because I'd like to get my width count down. The first one I kitted up is Bellatrix by Bella Filipina. I dyed the fabric myself, and it is a kind of a yes. It's yes. It's kind of a blue with pink in it, but I dyed that one myself. I've got all of the beads now, all of the specialty floss, and I have all of the DMC. I have all the Krynic blade. So she is ready to go now. The next one I kitted up, and I had mentioned this last time. Next one I kitted up was the Water Dragons by Ink Circles. This pattern was a gift to me by Mindy, the Nightshade Needleworker. I plan to do it on a navy blue Aida, and it is a 16 count, and I plan to use this DMC, and it's one of the Etoile. It's sparkling. So that one is now kitted up and ready to start. The next one all kitted up is by the Primitive Hair, and it's Oceanarium. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I have got the fabric I plan to use is Toasted Coconut by Forbidden Fiber Co. And it is a 16 count. But I like the aged look it has. Let's see. I can pull it out so you can see it better. There we go. It's kind of an aged, weathered look. So I love that. I'm going to use all the called for threads, which there aren't that many colors, and they're all classic colorworks. So that one is kitted up. And I can't get the fabric back in the bag. Of course not. But that's the next one I'll kitted up. The next one I have kitted up is the Quirky Quaker Snail by Darling and Whimsy. Now this one I am going to do on a 14 count Aida, and it is in the color Black Chocolate. It is a dark chocolate brown, and I plan to use 2 of my flower silks, this variegated green and this peachy color. There we go, that's better. I think those 2 will look nice, and here's the design. That one is a really small one, and it won't take me long to stitch it. And that is my goal this year, to get rid, well, not get rid of, but to stitch a lot of my smaller things that I haven't done because I've been working on so many big projects. And then the last thing I have kitted up, and it was actually a kit, so I didn't so much kit it up as I just sorted out threads and things. And it is Halloween ornaments, felt embroidery. It's just a kit of 6. I did not get, now last year what I wanted to do was a Halloween and a Christmas ornament each month to replace a lot of my breakable ornaments because cats and trees. So that's what that kit is about. I figured the felt embroidery is a quick and easy way to get some more done, so I can check it off my list. Now the next one I want to kit up but haven't yet because I can't decide on the fabric is Salsa Garden by Imaginating. My husband would like me to do this one for the kitchen to go with the seed pack towels, the lettuce and tomato that I did. The thing is, I don't like the fabric they used. It looks just dull and dingy, and I don't like it. I was thinking I may use like a pale peach color, but I don't have one. So I'm either gonna have to dye it or buy one. But I'm thinking that's what I want to use for it. So I haven't kitted it up yet, but I'm going to. I just need to find the fabric I like. And that's what I've got kitted up thus far. Now, haul. You won't believe the massive haul I have. Here it is. This is my entire haul. As I've said before, this is a low buy year for me. I don't plan to buy anything unless, like for this, if I decide to buy a fabric for it, but I don't want to buy anything unless something just jumps out and grabs me. And I'm really trying. But I was at Hobby Lobby picking up an extra few flosses that I had run low on. And these were on the clearance rack. And I mean, they were half off of $4.49. So $2.25. I couldn't pass them up. We always need scissors, right? And some of mine are like, 40 plus years old. Getting a little dull. So I figured I could use a new pretty pink pair. That's my haul. Now, during all the unpacking, I found a 30-year-old project. Don't ask me where I don't know if it was a kit or if it was from a magazine or what, but I stitched this when I was pregnant with my daughter, and she is 30. Actually, no. She's 31 now, so this is 31 years old. Here. This notebook. And there it is. It's filthy. It's dirty. As you can see, I just finished it in a plain wooden hoop. I thought since her bathroom is pink, I thought what I would do, and as you can see my bag, what I'm going to do is take it out of this hoop. I'm going to clean it up, and then I'm going to paint the hoop pink, and then put it back in there and put a backing on it, and then hang it in her bathroom for her. But yeah, it's dirty. It's 31 years old. Okay. But here's one of my original projects. So there's that. As far as plans, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Now, one of the things that I do want to start, if I can find it, and this is another one. It's a kit. I didn't have to kit it up. It is a kit, but it is the Luca S cherry ice cream that I want to do as a companion piece to my cherries. So I'll be starting this one soon. And these are small, as you can see, very small. They don't take long to do. So I can get that done, no problem. And that way I can hang them both in my kitchen. Okay. Those are my plans. For every 3 finishes, and I've had 2 thus far, so I only need to finish 1 more. And I've got a few that are close. Every 3 finishes, I want to start a new project. I will be starting, I only have 2 Christmas projects to stitch this year. One for my husband, one for my daughter. I'm not stitching one for my son this year. And they are both small, but I will probably start them in the first half of the year. That way I'm not stitching to the 13th hour on Christmas Eve trying to get them done. So I will be starting those soon. And his is a kit. Hers, it's a bookmark, but I'm going to do it more as a little bell pull because she doesn't really read. So there's that. But I will show those when I start them. So I'm going to continue. Cat hair on my nose. I'm going to continue spinning the wheel, doing the goals for that project each month, and try and just touch everything. Cat hair. Hello. But that's cross stitch. On to sewing. Now sewing, I haven't done any sewing. I did find my thread. It's all organized in my sewing drawer. I'm working on it. As you can see, the pile of fabric over there is much smaller now. That was the fabric that Snickers had chewed all the labels off of. I have been measuring, wrapping, and putting it all on my bookshelf or setting it aside if I have a specific project in mind for it, which several of them I do. But unpacking, I did find, I figured it was appropriate because Easter is this month. I found a doll that I made my daughter the year she was born for Easter. And it is this little Easter bunny. He's a little baby bunny with a binky. There's his little tail, his ears, his little diaper that comes off, and he even has a blankie. But this was in her very first Easter basket, the year she was born. So I thought I would show that. And that's it for sewing. So, on to garden. Gardening, we've been busy. Now, I finished cleaning out the one flower bed by the deck. And it had 2 palms. It had a smaller one and a tree. Now, you saw the tree in one of my videos that I shot when I was sitting on the screened in porch. I cleaned out everything in that bed except for those 2 palms. It was full of Mexican petunias, which I will not have on my property because they are highly invasive and they choke out local ecology. I completely cleaned that out. There were wild brambles, so my hands were all torn up till I was smart enough to find gloves. But I ripped all of those out. I ripped out all of the weeds, completely cleaned it out. I cleaned up the palms, got rid of all the dead stuff, and I have finished it. Now, I planted bird of paradise, I planted banana, there's some ixora, kangaroo's paw, bulbine, there are flax lilies and crocosmia. So once those fill in, it'll be beautiful. It'll be lovely. I did finish that. We got one of our garden beds completely planted. It's garlic, tomatoes, and peppers, and tomatillas. We do plan to do, I think my husband wants to do 2 smaller beds. One that we will just fill with green beans, bush beans, and the other where we will put some trellis to grow cucumbers and melons and things, the climbers. So we're working on it. Everything in the backyard that's alive is leafing out now. So I finally have a grand total of what is in my yard. We have 2 mandarin trees. We have a kumquat. We have a loquat. We have a fig tree. We have a pear tree. And we have 6 blueberries. I brought with us a fig tree, a Meyer lemon, and a lime that we still need to plant. I am so excited. I'm so excited. The blueberry bushes, they are covered with little green berries. So we're going to get some blueberries this year. So there will probably be pies, jams, you name it. But the citrus trees, I have completely pruned them, cleaned them up, and now they have just exploded in blooms. So they're doing great. The pear just started leafing out to the point where I could tell what it was. So I will be pruning that and cleaning it up. And then the fig tree is okay. We just had to take off a couple of dead branches, but it's okay and it's leafing out. So we'll be getting a lot. We have a lot of fruit trees. I was really, really happy. That's awesome. And then, I'll probably plant more because I do a lot of canning and preserving and baking and all of that. And one thing we've noticed, now living in Texas, we got fresh produce from Mexico all the time. And I never realized how much we took it for granted. Here in Alabama, we're having trouble finding all the produce we use because we eat a lot of vegetables and fruits. Meat, we eat meat, but we do eat vegetarian at least 2 days a week. Meat's not that big a deal to us. And of course, fresh fish, because my husband does fish and so do I. Not as much as he does, but we always have fresh fish, things like that. So the produce. So I'm excited about getting our vegetables in, all the fruit trees. That's really exciting. Plus it'll, obviously it saves on the cost of groceries. But anyway, so the next project my husband wants me to tackle in the front of the house, in front of the garage, actually, there is a clump of trees. Underneath it is just all weeds and agave and other trees. So he wants to clean that out, and then he wants me to design an area there with flowers and whatnot. So that's my next project outside. I mean, other than the vegetables. We also have 6 raised beds that we want to set up, and that is where one of them I'm going to plant sweet potatoes, because we eat a lot of sweet potatoes. And then the others will probably be herbs and bee flowers. So, because my husband wants to start raising bees again next spring. So if we get them all set up this summer, then this fall I can seed them with bee flowers like clover and things like that. And that way, when he's ready to set up his beehives next year, he'll already have a bee garden. So those are our plans for the garden. And then I've also sat down and sketched out what I want to do with the backyard, but that's one project at a time, because we do have a big backyard. We're getting eggs like you wouldn't believe. The chickens are happy, they're laying. One of our neighbors has already found out we have chickens, and he's already started buying eggs from us, so I'm sure it's just a matter of time before all of our neighbors are over here knocking on the door, which is fine. They lay more than we can eat anyway. And you know what? If we make enough money to pay for their feed and their keep, that's fine. So that's the garden. Spring has sprung. We actually have the windows closed today because it's hot and humid outside, and I just said no. As you can see from the dark circles under my eyes, I've been having trouble sleeping, insomnia. My sciatic nerve has been bothering me, and it's hard to get comfortable at night, so I haven't been sleeping well. But anyway, on to life. Life, as you can see, I am making progress in my sewing room. Now that big blank wall, my husband bought a piece of pegboard that he's going to hang over my cutting table for me, so that I can hang my quilting rulers and things like that on it. Rotary cutter, all of that stuff. I've gone through a lot of the boxes. Now, the problem is every time I try to unpack a box, I get this. My help. So they've made it a little difficult to unpack boxes. But I'm getting there. I'm getting things put away. I've got my craft cubes here, and I've, organized a lot of my crochet things and like sewing notions. I did finally sit down and sort out the entire bucket full of buttons. So my buttons are organized again. Yay. As I said, my cross stitch has all been organized in the cabinet, and all of my pre-cuts like fat quarters and things are organized inside my cutting table. I've got the bookshelf, I've got the fabric. So now it's just unpacking random things and trying to find a place for them. My husband did hang the closet rod and a shelf inside the closet for me, so I've got that now. And it's just trying to figure out where to put everything. I've also been going through everything, and the things that I don't think I will use, I am bagging up and putting aside for charity. So that's a thing. That's actually taking the bulk of the time, is me going through everything and trying to figure out what I don't want. Things that I don't think I'm going to use, I don't need to hang on to. Someone else can get use out of them. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm going through everything as I unpack it. And I'm, you know, I'm bagging them like, okay, there was a bunch of scrapbooking stuff. I don't scrapbook, I haven't in decades. I put all of that in a big plastic bag and put that aside for charity. There's fabric that I will never use. It's, like baby themed. I don't know anyone with babies. I don't sew for babies. So I don't need that stuff, and I know I won't use it. So I've culled all that out and I've bagged that up and put it aside for charity. I'm tired of the clutter. I mean, we downsized when we moved. We had a huge house because we had two mothers and my son and daughter living with us. We had a huge house. And now we have a cute little house. It's just 3 bedrooms, 2 baths for us. It's just big enough for the 3 of us, and that's how we like it. And so all of this extra stuff, I'm just getting rid of. If I don't think I'm going to use it, I'm not keeping it. And I'm going to set it aside and give it to charity where it can go to somebody who will use it. So that's taking a lot of time. And I've been, and my sewing patterns, I went through all of those and I got rid of probably 3/4 of them. A lot of them were for more businessy type, professional type clothing, which I don't work anymore. So I don't need that. And then there were a lot of patterns that were from when I was younger and thinner. Okay. But no, not the style that I would wear now. So all of them went. All of them went. And that's been life. Just unpacking and organizing and going through things to get rid of the stuff we're not going to use. That's it. So that's all I've got today. I have rambled on long enough, but thank you. Thank you for listening as long as you did. As always, okay, the cat hair has transferred itself from this side to this side. Why? As always, thank you. Thank you for the subscribes, the likes. Thank you for the comments. I love to read the comments. I will always answer you back. I love to chat. Hopefully, if you haven't subscribed yet, you saw something today that you liked, and hopefully you'll hit that subscribe button and like and share and comment and hit the notification bell and all of those YouTubey things. And yeah, I'm gonna edit this video, get it posted, and then tackle this mess some more. There is a huge difference, though. There is a huge difference. I mean, you don't have the big, huge stacks of boxes there. You don't have the big, huge stacks of fabric there. You can actually see the floor. That's nice. I can actually get to my sewing machine and I can sew. Now, my button container is sitting right here on my desk and it's in the way, but my husband says he's going to hang it for me over my desk so that it's just right there. Just like he's going to hang the pegboard over my cutting table for me. And I have to admit, my husband is amazing. He is my very, very, very best friend in the whole world. And whatever I want, he will find a way to do it. So he's been helping me. by hanging shelves and things. And I do appreciate it, which is why the other day I baked him a chocolate layer cake. And yes, it's gone. Because my husband's a sugar junkie. But anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble today. I am completely and utterly shocked that my two little boys have not been scuffling and fighting and doing their thing. They're actually still asleep. There's the jelly bean on a box. So anyway, I will be back in 2 weeks. It's Thursday, so it's not too early to say I hope you have an amazing weekend. I will be digging in the yard, but hopefully getting some stitching done. I plan to stitch tonight. In fact, I've already spun the wheel and it landed on the dark elf. So I'm hoping to get some stitches put into that one. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna unpack until I can't unpack anymore. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. Have an amazing evening. Have an amazing weekend. And